All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Synax CyberTalk Podcast. I am your host, Daniel Lokode. I work with Synax Technologies as a business development manager. I am also a cybersecurity advocate. This podcast today is focused on engaging cybersecurity leaders in meaningful conversation, on cybersecurity and on how organizations can actually stay ahead of cybersecurity attacks or cybersecurity threats. And in today's episode, we would be discussing the theme, the modern attack surface, staying ahead in an era of digital expansion and AI adoption. And joining me today in the podcast is Mr. Chijioke Melvin. He is a seasoned digital and technology executive with over 16 years of experience spanning banking, asset management, pensions, and even capital markets. Currently, Mr. Chijioke is the group chief CIO of ARM Holding Company. And Mr. Chijioke, it is really an honor to have you with us. Thank you very much for the time. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Daniel, and the Synax team for having me today. And to everyone here, a good evening.
Thank you. So we would be discussing on the theme, the modern attack surface, staying ahead in an era of digital expansion and AI adoption. For our audience, when we talk about the attack surface, we're actually referring to every possible point where a cyber attacker can attempt to gain unauthorized access to an organization's systems, data, and even applications. Again, we are talking about every possible point where these cyber criminals they get into an organization. So, to begin with, Mr. Chijioke, with our first question for today, from your perspective as a CIO, how has your organization's attack surface evolved over the past few years with digital expansion and the growing adoption of AI?
Thank you very much, Daniel, for that question. And truly, like I must say, it's an honor to be a part of this today. And I think this is the right time for us to have this type of conversation and this type of engagement because, number one, we need to be aware of what is currently ongoing. And let me just draw back on how things were before. Imagine, long time ago, we were fully on premise. All workloads were were fully on premise. I can remember then working in the bank is desktops that we used to use. We never even used to use laptops. So meaning there was nothing like working from home. You had to come to the office to work. Um, Also, during that period too, there was no need to say you were trying to integrate with to one external system. In short, all integrations were very, very closed. There will be a tight VPN through which you are speaking to whatever API or whatever communication to whatever third-party systems. But right now that our then there was like a perimeter around everything,
True.
and you could tell how you've I mean the attack surface then was very, very, very low. In short, then I can remember then we used to the issues we used to have there in the bank was like things like a keylogger, which was a hardware, and you could easily find, someone would have connected that to like a desktop system. But now we've the attack surface has grown past all of that because it's no longer perimeterized. Right now, we are now looking at digital ecosystems, and so that has widened the scope for what we should be concerned about. And all these shifts is as a result of course, cloud adoption, remote work. Now AI has come into play where
True.
people are leveraging tools. I can remember then we just put up some things on the firewall and you'll be able to access some sites. But right
True.
now, we have people that are using tools so there's issue of shadow IT, there's the issue of so it's just too many things to actually take care of, right? With AI tools also coming in, so there's that risk of data leak also too. You don't know if someone is sharing some information. I mean, just on a lighter note, technology and information security we're having a meeting on, and we just came up with a very lovely policy for AI governance. And funny enough, we're having a conversation with one of there was a new CEO and was like, he wants to use AI as his executive assistant to do that. And we were like, still considering it. Then he now goes that all these risks that you're trying to identify, I already use it today. I just don't want to be doing copy and paste. I want it to plug into my productivity tools.
Sure.
And that's why we're like, what's going on here? It's already happening. So meaning that attack surface has widened. It has grown past what it ever used to be. There's just too much to actually deal with at this particular point in time. Yeah, let me stop here and not go too deep
Yeah.
into it. Yeah. Mhm.
Thank you very much for that insight. In
But one
fact,
thing is very, very sure.
yeah,
Yeah. But one thing is very sure, like we now have to be more aware. It's no longer just do a VAPT and you're fine, or implement one endpoint and you're fine. It has widened past that. There's now the part of that social engineering part also too
true,
is still key. There are many ways that they can actually enter. So anyways,
true,
let me just pause
true.
here.
True. Thank you very much for that insight. We can definitely see that the attack surface has really widened from what we used to have it. So that this moves us to the next question that has to do with how the rapid adoption of AI, and we've seen that adoption of AI. We've seen how the attack surface has also widened, both in the organization also, and even talking about AI, threat actors today they also use AI to carry out some of these attacks. So how has AI in itself reshaped the modern attack surface?
Yeah, I think just drawing back from the last example they actually gave, where um, you have employees also using unapproved these AI tools, which is shadow AI in this particular case. And even though you come up with whatever like AI governance principles or controls, to a large extent, these tools are open to everybody and they actually leverage these things. So you're now exposed to a new threat, which is data leak, which is even bigger than any other thing. Because imagine someone sharing confidential information about the business on a free model. So you can imagine how many people have access to such kind of information, or so how trade secrets
True,
could actually be leaked as a result. But if you think about it, is actually a double-edged sword. For the threat actors, um, the the AI is a force, like a multiplier force for them, because they're using the LLMs to write flawless phishing emails and automate
true,
discovery of
true,
vulnerabilities. But for us internally, like our attacking surface is through shadow AI. You get when like I already mentioned, you now have like employees passing sensitive information or strategy that the company has this into a public AI tool. You get and but I mean we are moving from a world of um, human speed attacks to machine speed threats. You get so it exposes us to at least something new that we're never ever used to. So what we try to do on our own part is so now you now realize that tools might not be the only way like around it. As you know, before we used to leverage tools as control
yeah,
mechanisms, but now we now have to do a whole lot of awareness to our users on these
true.
tools and what they can actually do, how this could actually affect the business itself.
True, true. I agree. I agree. Thank you very much. Now, talking about the expansion of AI, all the technologies, what would be your single biggest challenge for security teams, yeah, when it comes to staying ahead of this expanding and constant shifting attack surface? What would be the biggest challenge that you see so far?
Yeah. Hmm. If I actually have to pick one, and this is me being genuine because it's very difficult to just select a particular one, I would say is visibility.
Hmm.
Because specifically in the sense that you cannot protect what you don't know exists. neither can you protect what you cannot see, right? And think about it, the combination of cloud elasticity, shadow IT, third-party integrations. Like now, I mean, we sat down and we were relooking our enterprise architecture, and we are just looking at the fact that, wow, we have like too many things ongoing. So
Hmm.
it just means that your attack surface is actually wider.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And sometimes it's not even from your own side. It might even be from your third-party provider. Because if you heard of that one of, I don't want to call any particular bank, but something happened last week,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it wasn't directly like from them. It was like a pipeline. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's actually wide. I think so. That's what I'll say. Visibility is the most is that's that's the biggest challenge to actually just look out for. And truth of the matter is, and it comes with understanding your enterprise architecture. It comes with I mean, solving that problem comes with understanding your whole security architecture, understanding,
Architecture.
sure,
Yeah.
starting with your enterprise architecture before you start talking about, okay, what security this thing you can put in place, to cater to this.
Yeah.
And with BYO, D and the likes, those are parts that you might not be able to also touch to. But if you
True.
understand everything that is allowable and you
Yeah.
have visibility on that, then it makes it easier for you to overcome such kind of challenge.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Sometimes should I say I usually feel for a security team or even a CIO, the CTOs, because it is not easy. How do you tend to,
Hmm.
manage you also have your own life to live. And that is
Hmm.
why when you talk about visibility, it's really such a very big thing, for organizations having to understand what is going on in the environment from endpoint to network. It is not easy. It is not easy. Kudos to all you do as a leader in cybersecurity for your organization. It is not easy at all. I would now
I
want
understand.
to, yeah. So our next question would be that as your digital footprint continues to grow with cloud, digital platform and AI integration, what are some key strategies and guiding principles that has actually helped you to stay ahead of emerging risk? What would be the strategies that you would like to share to, even other organizations? Let's learn from you with regards to that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we agree on one thing, that our footprint has grown. The attacking surface has grown past what it used to be. Um, so from that particular perspective, there's no one size fits all in this particular case. However, there are some few principles that we actually leverage to shaping how we operate. Number one is the first is actually to assume breach. So we stopped treating the perimeter as our primary defense like years ago. So even if we assume an adversary may already be inside, the security posture that we build looks different. So from that perspective, like more segmentations, we're now segmenting the network, segmenting the IT assets. We are now doing more internal monitoring. Like I said, you can't actually tell where it's going to come from. So you just have to
Yeah, true.
do a whole lot of monitoring. Also employ like tighter lateral movement controls also too. So meaning that if you spot out anything that doesn't look normal, do you understand? You have a way to stop it. So leveraging, good news is that most tools today, like they have like they have like an AI capabilities too that can monitor the the user's behavior. And if they see that something is different, it can actually tell that something is actually wrong. The second part is continuous validation and point in time um, like assurance. So in our own case now, we do annual audits and quarterly reviews. And if we find out that it doesn't match and what is going on within the environment, then we now know that, oh, something has gone wrong. And in addition to that, we've moved towards also continuous testing. So it's not just saying, oh, we passed VAPT last um, last half year, then you now wait until like a longer time,
Relax.
because truth
Yeah.
of the matter is
Yeah.
that new things are coming up like almost every day, and you want to be
True.
sure that
True.
whatever it is that you have, like, is up to this thing. So even right now, we are implementing things like continuous this thing, like automated vulnerability scanning around the network, real-time compliance monitoring, and so this has actually helped us to stay to stay protected. And the last part of it is um, making security a business function. So everybody thinks that security is only tied to risk management or is tied to IT. And until our users start getting used to the fact that, see, you are part of that security that we're talking about. So remove
Sure.
remove IT from the security. Just call it security. You now see that, so the IT is only speaking to the assets, not necessarily speaking to the function. So the key thing is security. So it's everybody's responsibility. Good news is, like likes of CBN have even said, up until the board is meant to be responsible for
Any.
information security too.
Yeah.
So and to do that, everyone in the organization now knows that we are all gatekeepers. It's not just IT that is, or risk management that is a gatekeeper. You are also like a gatekeeper. So what we do at ARM is we have this periodic tests that we do for social engineering, and it could be at the point where you're actually broke. You get an email that says that, oh, click on this link, you just want something. Do you understand? And sometimes things
Sure.
are really good. Even me, as I shouldn't say this in public, but anyway, some people have failed that test. Some people have actually failed that test too. Before, you ask yourself, did you pray for something last night and God has just answered your prayer?
Abby.
But the truth of the matter is that, yes, that's where we find out. But we need to do this and continuously, not
Sure.
just this thing, to be sure that our users are, because think about it. Social engineering is easier now with AI, because AI can
AI.
even study the user and come up with
Yeah.
things that are more closely related to such kind of user,
True.
and
True.
before you know, they've entered through that user into your own network. Yeah, so that's basically how we go about it.
Thank you very much for sharing these strategies. We sincerely appreciate. Talking about the user, which brings us to the final question for our podcast. What advice would you give to employees so as for them to reduce organizational risk? We know that, in fact, they are more like the first line of, attack surface, whereby cyber criminals, they tend to target. So, what would be your advice to employees, as they carry out their own activities in the organization? What should they do from a cyber security point of view, sir?
Yeah, I think, let me just piggyback on what I said when you asked the last question. For users, I need you to, I mean, you are not the last line of defense. You are a critical part of that shared defense. And in short, he said in this particular saying that you are as strong as your weakest link. And
Hmm.
that's why, from our own perspective, we try as much as possible to see how we can um, create that awareness amongst our users, so they are aware of these risks. I will not speak from an IT perspective, because IT has implemented tools you get that helps us to monitor and all. However, the easiest way that any attacker can actually come in right now is through the user, and it could be through social engineering, it could be
Yeah.
through even these AI things that we're talking about right now. And I must really speak on this AI part specifically. Treat that data you feed into those AI tools with the same discretion that you'd apply sending it to an external party.
Hmm.
So if your
Hmm.
company has implemented some kind of DLP and you guys have data classifications, you know that this is confidential. You should not share confidential information with don't share confidential information with an AI tool, because you're also exposing trade secrets or whatever it is
Yeah.
to to the public. Because data leak has become one of the biggest risks now, especially with um, um, the AI tools that we have today. And Many AI tools, especially the free or the unvetted ones, they may use your inputs to train other models, train their own models also too, or they will store your data in ways that you've never ever considered. In short, a friend of mine was telling me about how he just put in some kind of information. Then later he now realized that some other person had just done an analysis and he saw that information and he was like, this information is meant to be private. It shouldn't have
Hmm.
been in what just came out. So
Hmm.
this is even way bigger than like anything. And
Yeah.
more broadly, I will say this one. If something feels off, an unusual request, you didn't win lottery, you didn't apply for any lottery, an unexpected message from a senior person or a vendor is asking you for access that they've never ever needed before, report it.
Hmm.
Don't just say, oh, don't use your discretion in that particular case. Report it. If you're not
Yeah.
sure, report it. Don't start trying to second guess. So we'll rather investigate 10 false alarms than miss one real incident. A culture where people feel very comfortable raising concerns without embarrassment is one of the most effective risk controls that you can ever have. You get like
Yeah.
I know there was a time that a very this like an executive member who sent an email to me, said, okay, I don't understand this. And I had to explain. I was like, no, 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 don't respond to it, don't touch it. Did you do this, did you do that? You get, and we analyze it. Do you understand? So there's no embarrassment in coming out to say that
Got
you're
it.
not sure, instead of clicking on that link that could expose the organization. So that's it on my side.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chijioke. In fact, it's really, really an impactful one and also an insightful session. Thank you very much. We really appreciate your time and everything that you've also put together so as to be here and to also share all of this experience. We sincerely appreciate. And for our audience that also joined, thank you very much for sparing out some time to join us on the podcast. Thank you. And we really want to appreciate every one of you. Thank you, Mr. Chijioke. Just
Thank you,
a
Daniel,
final
for having me.
one. Yeah, thank you. Just a final one. Synax Technologies is a distributor based in Dubai, right? We distribute cybersecurity products for different organizations. And this is just one way in which we want to contribute to the cybersecurity ecosystem in Nigeria, Africa, and also to the world at large. Us having to, put in our best also to ensure that when it comes to cybersecurity, we are actually there, putting ourselves there to be of, value to everyone. So thank you very much once again, Mr. Chijioke. All right.
Thank you
Bye.
very much, Daniel.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, bye.